Welcome back to the Bankroll Challenge. Currently we're sitting with $590 in the account, but we're not going to waste any time here. Let's get straight into the hands. Now this is the very first hand of the session. The first table I sat into and the first hand I was dealt, and we get dealt tens in the big blind. The player ahead of me decides to open it up, and we are going to 3-bet it. I end up only 3-betting 5 big blinds because I was so distracted by all the other tables trying to open up that I just had to get it in last second. As soon as I put in the bet, our opponent decides to just jam 63 big blinds in our face. Very first hand of the session. Sitting with tens, I think I'm comfortable getting it in with 63 big blinds. I feel like a lot of the time we're just going to be destroyed by overpairs, but you know, here at 510, people play a little crazy. We put in the call, and he flips over 5 deuce suited. What a way to start it off. He just decides he wants to donate me some money. And to top it off, we flop quads. What a great way to start off the episode. Oh my. Let's hope the good luck continues in this next hand. Okay, here we are. It has been a while since we've had a playable hand during the session, but we finally get 9s on the button. The low jack opened it up, and we are just going to call here. We have position. We just want to see a flop. We also see a call from the big blind, and the flop ends up coming down 8-6-3 with 2 diamonds, giving us an overpair. The low jack decides to bet about half pot, and I think this is just an easy call. We can sometimes think about raising here to protect our hand from any overcards coming on the turn, but here I decided not to. The 6 of hearts comes on the turn, still giving us an overpair, pairing the board, but we're not too worried about the low jack having a 6 here. He decides to bet out 8.9 big blinds, again, about half pot. Because he's now bet out 2 streets, I prefer a call in this situation because his range is starting to look more like a flush draw with diamonds or an overpair better than my 9s. So just a call here is probably the best play. The 4 of clubs comes on the river. We still have an overpair to the board, and when he checks to us, I feel like we should just be checking back in this situation. For all the reasons I mentioned on the turn, it should just be a check back. His range is basically overpairs or a flush draw, and we're not getting a call from any flush draws. Maybe once in the blue moon he's gonna have like ace-8 suited that he'd call with a bet here, but it's not very often. In the moment, I convinced myself that there was some kind of thin value out there to grab, but looking back on it, this is a bad move. This is just an easy check back and take your showdown value. We bet out and he calls with queens. Like I said, he has an overpair. We value own ourselves. This next hand comes about 10 or 20 minutes after that last hand. All that time we've just been slowly bleeding away our chips, slowly losing. So let's see if we can start the upswing right here. We have ace-10 offsuit in the small blind. I don't normally like calling out of the small blind, but with this specific hand, I don't really mind it. The flop comes down 7-4 deuce, all hearts, giving us the nut flush draw, and the cutoff decides to bet. Here, we hit this board being in the small blind much, much harder than the cutoff. Of course, he can always have aces, kings. He has the total range advantage in that area, but we're going to have all the lower cards. We're going to be calling with deuces, 4s, 7s, so we'll have all the sets. So this is a good spot for us to raise and try and just get out all of his overcards. He decides to call though, and the turn comes the 3 of spades. Now here, again, now that we've started betting, I think we just have to continue betting. And if we see a call, we're blasting river no matter what card comes. Hopefully we can make our draw, but if not, we're blasting. River comes down the 5 of diamonds, giving us the wheel, not the draw that we thought we were going for, but we end up making a straight. And like I said, no matter what was happening, we are putting all the chips in the middle. Now we just keep our fingers crossed that he has a hand good enough to call down with. After going deep in the tank, he puts in the call and flips over kings. Ooh, we get paid off, and ooh, that is a session saver right there. After bleeding out so many chips, that is how you turn it around, baby. After that last hand, let's hope we can get the momentum to continue. Keep the chips coming our way. Keep on getting that bankroll up there. If you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you hit a like. If we get to 4 likes, yes, you heard me right, only 4 likes, I will move up in stakes for the next video. So hit that like button if you want to see it. In this next hand, we have Jack 10 off, which we opened up from the button, and we got min 3-bet from the big blind. So we call. The flop is 10 high, giving us top pair, and the big blind continues for pot. Now, we honestly can fold here sometimes. With a min raise, he has the range advantage, so he has aces, kings, queens, all that jazz, but we're not going to just fold to 1-bet, considering that there is a flush draw on board. When the turn is the 5 of diamonds, a pretty big blank, and he checks it to us, I am very happy just to check it back and see a river. The river gives us 2 pair now. I think now that it checks to us, we got to put a bet in here, try and get a bit of extra value. I'm not really too sure what he's going to be able to call down with, but you got to put it in anyways. We see a call from him with queens. My goodness, you love to see it. Very surprised he decided to check, turn, and river with an overpair, but hey, he let us see the extra cards, and we sucked out on him. That's what you get. All right, we have won 2 hands in a row. Let's see if we can make it 3. Sitting here on the button with jacks, facing an open from the low jack, you know we got a 3-bet here. The low jack ends up putting in the 4-bet for 25 bigs, $2.50. With jacks and position, it's not comfortable, but we're going to put in the call. Oh my goodness, we flop top set with our jacks. You love to see it. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope he has an overpair and we can get all the money in right. All right, the opponent puts in a small bet, honestly like a 3rd pot, and with the flush draw on board, I just want to raise right away, try and get all the money in. He's only left himself 50 big blinds behind, so he's probably going to be calling with a lot. We see a call, and he has ace king. He calls with minimal equity, drawing to only a gut shot. This is a perfect situation. Turn comes a king, changing nothing. And the river, the deuce of spades. Let's go. He has no spades. We win with our set. Let's go. Now for the last hand of the video. This is definitely the most difficult hand I had on the session. I wasn't going to include it at first, but I decided that I should because I can't tell if I misplayed it or not. Anyways, let's get into it. And if you guys have any thoughts on it, please in the comments let me know. Anyways, we are dealt ace king of spades in the big blind, and we see an open to my left. You know we got to be 3-betting this right here. Here when the flop comes down 9-5-9, the board pairing, I think just a check is the best way to go about it. You can be betting sometimes, put in a little c-bet, but with like just no connection to the flop at all, I think a check has to be the way to go. So it goes check, check. Now on the turn, the 7 of diamonds. Again, we have no connection to the board. Here in real time, I put in a bet of 10 big blinds, which is just under half pot. I don't think this is necessary though. We're just going to be folding out hands that are worse than us really. So I would have preferred, now back looking on it, a check here. But that's not what we did. We put in the bet. Let's see what the opponent does. The opponent puts in the call, and the river comes the 4 of clubs. Now here, sitting with ace high, I don't see many straight draws that are going to be calling our 3-bet, so I think we just got to check and give up here. In the moment, I think otherwise. Again, I put in the bet, try and bluff him off a hand, but I don't think that's the best decision. We see an almost instant call, and he flips over 10s and takes it down. Not very proud of how I played this hand, but that's just how it is. Let me know how you guys would have played it. I would love some feedback on that. Anyways, let's move on to the graph. As you can see, overall, we started off the session with the all-in with 10s against 5 deuce. So we started up over about $5-6, and we slowly dwindled back down to negative $5, and then that ace 10 hand where we made the wheel bumped us right back up into the profit. We ended up finishing the day with about $12 profit. Let's go. That puts us over the $600 mark. Like I said in the middle of the video, 4 likes. That's all I need, and I will move up in stakes. So smash that like button, and I'll see you at the higher stakes in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.